So our new fledgling demon girl, Yuko, is just out here trying her best to drain the blood of a magical girl in order to release her family's curse. Sounds pretty not nice when you have to say it out loud, but it's not working for Yuko right now, that's for sure. She ended up with a debt because of the magical girl, so... If you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have early access on my channel memberships, and the full length are up on Patreon. Or, you know, if you just like my video and you just want to support me, I have a $1 tier where you can just get all of the emojis that is on that's on the YouTube membership. Anyways, let's get started. You better fucking listen, Yuko! You're fucking useless! It's the second time I've connected to you. Look at her putting on the nice act. You mean the tip of your tongue? It's already been digested. Damn, the hard-hitting question. Success is a foreign concept. Yep, that is definitely what happened. 5 out of what? 5 out of 100. Still 5 points though. Wow, you see that tiny little curls? A great tactician. She's talking with her ancestors right now. Damn, dude. She can't even fucking escape from her sleep of people ridiculing her. So you're a bunch of succubus. Wow. Did you put your heart on airplane mode? You think your mom would understand, eh? She got sucked into a black hole, dude. So you won't remember this? Anything you offer. Magazines. What? Alright, that's way too much for her to even remember. Oh! Pancakes! I don't have time to write this down. But she's not gonna write it down. The only thing she wants is... No! 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 No, there's so many... Oh, she's writing down what her mom wants instead. Is that in the children's... God, I felt such an immense anger. Leftover rice and tofu. Oh, she woke up. Oh, woke up, couldn't even write what she wanted, and she didn't even get pancakes. Fool her for what? Laundry is all about knowledge and experience. I would definitely think it's hard to do laundry if you don't got, you know, the essentials. Which they don't have because they're in poverty. Damn, how does she... Damn, there's the same size? Oh no, it's not. Like... like a fucking cat, dude. I always send my laundry to the cleaners. Yeah, so she was hand washing it, yeah, so she didn't have... Anyways, going back to the whole, like, yeah, washing your laundry would probably be very difficult. God, they're all missing. Oh, she hit once! Espionage! Espionage, girl, espionage. Where's she gonna get that? Alright, your little sister's gonna help you get a gun. We're gonna shoot that magical girl. She's still working. But why is it so long compared? No, I know why. It's because Momo's tall. I forgot. But it doesn't look like it's that long on her, right? I mean, it's because she's tall. Yeah, you can say something like that, huh? That's like a flower pattern right there. The whatever the explosion was. The only thing I can do is produce more eye juice. Oh my god, it's gonna put the fucking... the thing that you're holding, exactly! Ancestor. Ancestor? Just stop it. Well, it's a demon god statue. She doesn't give a shit. But a demon girl using a... I'm helping you survive! Boil you alive? Like soup? I don't know about the just met part, but... Alright, time to go home. I'm pretty hungry. Oh, 100% beef? Alright, you said that your food is a weapon, so like... Oh my god. Friendship. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Alright, well, we'll see. Intramuscular injection. She's running away. She's right. 20-30 minutes. Well, if you run for the next 20-30 minutes. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's coming. Yeah, prick, don't stop running. Alright. I felt nothing. Actually, it shouldn't be in past tense. I feel nothing. I don't even know if I said anything during the last half of all this. But, with, Momo, what she did was she basically just not sew, but like she stitched Yuko's clothing to where like it's now her size. Okay, and then it's all just preview after this. Okay, all previews. All right. Well, I'm gonna figure out what I wanna write notes and figure out from there. So, oh, I'll be back to the center. Okay. So, have you ever been able to use that power to win against our enemies? And then she just... I get the feeling it's pretty addictive. And I figured as much. Okay, so write this ASAP. Even though I'm sealed away, I can enjoy anything that you offer to the statue. So leave some delicious treats or magazines as offering. Also, I don't care how perfect the size is. Stop using it to cover your cup noodles while they cook. The perfect size, stop using. Oh, the ancestor statue. Okay. So, yeah, when I'm sealed away, leave offerings to the statue, things I can enjoy, delicious treats and magazines, even though the perfect... Okay. And then I can tell you more about your father, about your hidden power, about the device in the statue. But, the device in the statue... But... and then it just gets cut out. Okay. The pride and hopes of our clan rest with you. God, what a fucking... Whoa, what a fucking task, dude. Especially for Yuko. Shit. So I vaguely remember, did they ask you anything? Okay, so after that, she looks up to the sky. I don't think I'll be able to fool her for much longer. Fool her for what? Fool her the fact that she could somewhat be... sorry. Alright, so that was episode 3 of The Demon Girl Next Door. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty alright episode. They've kind of are feeling a little bit more, putting a little mystery, right? When it comes to, let me head on over to the place. Yuko's father, her hidden power, and the device that's in the statue. Not really sure what's in, what is this device in the statue and that allows it to do whatever that it needs to do. I don't know. Maybe it's just a GPS tracker. They were just very advanced in their time. The Dark Clan. But we've got that, and then we have like that next part around the 10-minute mark with SEIKO, who is Yuko's mom, where she looks to the sky and she kind of just goes and says, I don't think I'll be able to fool her for much longer, to which I'm just kind of like... Alright, the mean thoughts in my head was just like, what, fool her and the fact that she actually has talent, or what? Or like it's this whole demon thing, just a big clown show. I don't know, you know, maybe SEIKO is just like one of the super powerful Dark Clan member. I don't know. And then we also know about like Yuko's dad and all that, and she was technically talking, when she's looking up to the sky, she was talking about, she was talking to her husband, whether he's alive or not. I don't know, right? She's looking up to the sky. Maybe he's not in heaven. I mean, they're in a dark clan. I don't know if they'd be able to go to heaven, or even if they want to. But in the beginning, with the talk between this girl and Yuko, I don't exactly know her name yet. I don't think they've said her name yet. At least I believe so, and if not, you know, I'll figure it out in the next upcoming episodes. But in the last episode, right, she was upset that Yuko's not really doing anything to continue to expand their power and, you know, help I keep wanting to say unleash, release the curse and such, right? She's not doing a great job, so her ancestor came back again to be like, hey, this is the second time I've connected with you. We need to talk. And so as they continue to talk, we've got Yuko, who's really coming out here with the hard-hitting questions, which is, hey, during all these battles between the Light and Dark Clan, have you ever won anything before? And then her ancestor keeps switching the topic, right? Or when she asks, like, oh, this cool power that you have you ever used it to win against other people before? Changes the topic again. And of course, Yuko's not asking this as a way to ridicule her or shame her or anything. It's really more of she's actually super curious compared to the way that Yuko's ancestor fucking is just out here yelling at her in her own dreams, which I did to say during the reaction, where I was just like, wow, Yuko can't even escape being ridiculed even in her dreams, right? And it's just like, wow, that's really sad. Right, of all the places that you think that you could get at the very least some sort of relief, some reprieve, even if you don't dream, right? At least it's the time where nothing bad should happen to you, that you should just be able to sleep and then wake up the next day and be like, well, fuck. I have to wake up for school or whatever, right? So Yuko currently can't even do that, where in her dream, her ancestor will just penetrate it and it just be like, hey, yo, dog, do good, do better. Don't be sorry, be better. Oh yeah, right here with the whole shaming part, right? Where her ancestor says, I have a lot of bones to pick with you, but the biggest problem is your complete lack of talent. Like, damn, like, right? She's getting hit with the shame out here. God, High Dive's not making it good, making it easy for me to pause. So it's hard for me to even know where to start. Your heart is just so damn fragile. Yes, ma'am, don't start crying. Which really makes me upset. It's a big you know what, I just, you know, I was thinking about the last episode, and like I had to cut out like a 6-minute rant and just put a little voiceover that summarized it, and towards the end of that summarization I just said, yeah, I probably shouldn't take this comedy anime too seriously, but just I look, if you're gonna come around and just start shaming someone and start fucking just yelling out all their fucking flaws to them, right? A little unsolicited opinion. And then she just goes, a guy went by so fast I couldn't even pause on it, but she just goes and she just says, don't cry. And it's, first of all, fuck you. You're the one who caused her to feel that way in the first place. You don't get the option. You don't get the fucking galls to go and tell that person to not cry when you've obviously have made them do it. And it just makes it sound like crying is a bad thing, to which it's not. It's good for releasing your emotions. Maybe it's not good for, you know, danger situations or whatever, you know, when you're running away, you got little wet eyes, it's a little hard to see. But like, again, it's like, crying in most situations are not bad. Again, if you're in like a very panicky situation or something, and you're just over there sitting and crying, you know, it's just kind of like, you can cry, maybe you should just stand up and start running and crying at the same time. You know, you can do other things besides just sitting there and crying during a crisis. But yeah, this you know, the other thing that I'm kind of having trouble is being able to follow the dialogue in this show, where it feels like they're saying through the subtitles, it feels like they're saying a lot of things, but in Japanese they're saying it in like they're Japanese, they're able to just kind of condense it a lot better than us. So like the subtitles look like they're saying a lot of things, but then they don't actually say as much as like the subtitles. So then because of that, the subtitles, that it being these long ass subtitles, just kind of like disappears within like 2 seconds. And I'm a fast reader. It's just that when you it's just that I'm not that fast of a reader where I can just read an entire thing. Sorry, not 2 seconds. I'd be able to read most of the words in 2 seconds, but sometimes it would just kind of pop and then it just moves out, and then and it's not just like one person talking. Sometimes there'll be like another person talking, and then they weren't really doing it much with Yuko in this episode, but they were kind of doing it with, actually they might have done it a little bit with Yuko, but they did do it a little bit with Yuko's ancestor, where Yuko's ancestor was just going meh, 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 or whatever in the background, and like those sound effects, or like sound effects, just them making those noises in the back, it just distracts me so much, and like I can't pay attention to I just can't pay attention to the dialogue. So like I do feel like I miss a lot of dialogue, and I thought about how I maybe I should try it in dub, to watch it in dub instead, because there are some anime that I do like a little bit better in dub, even if the quality, the voice acting quality isn't as good as like Japanese dub. There's just something about English dub that I like. So I tried watching it in dub, episode 1, back when I was still doing episode 1, right? I say as if it's been a long time. But yeah, I did that, and the English dub is let's just say I've been keeping in the Japanese dub for a reason. So I figured that listening to it in English dub probably wasn't going to help me. And since I'm still technically kind of on the topic of me Angie, here's this part where I felt genuine anger when this part came up, where Yuko comes out and she's just like, I gotta write all this down. I've got all these stuff in my head right now. I need to write everything down. Right? Where's the notebook? Gotta write before I forget. And then her mom's just like, oh, are you writing something? Could you write a few things down for me while you're at it? And it's like, okay, I'll fucking do it afterwards, right? I just told you that I got something that I need to do, so shut the fuck up. God, I felt such genuine anger at this point, and it's just like, oh, my hands are wet, I can't do it myself. I'm like, fucking just wait for her, right? And it's like, just wait for her to write down what she needs to do first, and then you can go fucking tell her to write it down right afterwards, right? And it's like, Yuko, unfortunately, is as I said, is the character who's very bullyable, right? That's why everybody around her ridicules her and everything. So like here in this part, right, she's just like, oh, but I have to record these memories, and then her mom's just like, I don't give a shit. I just start tossing out all these fucking shit, and it's just like, and of course Yuko can't say no to it, right? Because it's her mom, understandable, right? I'm speaking mean words via as a stranger, right? I don't know her mom. I don't have a personal relationship with her or anything. So of course I'm looking at this through like an outsider lens, and it's just like, stop. For some reason, I'm getting an odd flashback or an odd vibe to Kung Fu Panda, but I think that's just because reactors are now starting to do Kung Fu Panda for some reason. Some reactions, they just get popular again. Some movies, sorry, I say reactions. Some movies just get popular again. Or at the very least, like one big reaction channel does it, and then all the other reaction channels just like, we're gonna do it too. Anyways, Kung Fu Panda, the first movie anyways. I've never seen the sequel, but I remember not liking the first half of Kung Fu Panda, because it goes through, our main character, the panda guy, I forgot what his name is, like, he's voiced by Jack Black, right? But, he's this newbie who comes to this big kung fu palace, and like all the other masters are, they basically ridicule him, right? They talk shit about him, and they don't have any respect for him, which understandable. He's a fucking newbie, and he goes around fuck shit up. And I remember not liking those parts because, again, going through the whole like, oh, the characters are out there ridiculing them, and and I'm saying that because in terms of like, I didn't like it even when I was a kid watching it, and it kind of made me realize that I don't particularly like underdog type stories. I don't know, I just don't like it. It doesn't, I don't like the, I know that some people enjoy the whole underdog story because, oh man, the whole world is against them, right? And then here they are working as hard as they can to show these people, and then eventually they get to rise to the top, right? The underdog winning. People like seeing underdogs win, and that's why it's like a popular thing in sports too, right? Seeing an underdog get an upset against a big team or whatever, right? That also goes in like sports anime. Actually, I will say, when it comes to sports anime, that's like the only time I actually enjoy an underdog story. That's usually the only time I enjoy an underdog story. But other than that, I don't like underdog stories. It's not my thing. I don't enjoy it. I actually am a person who much more enjoys a story with an overpowered character, but that's only in the way that they write it, right? Because if you make a story about with an overpowered character and you put your focus on them, the story becomes boring, right? The whole idea of an overpowered character is that the world revolves, the world continues to go around, and they're just there. Right, and that's really why I do enjoy One Punch Man, why One Punch Man is a very popular series, is that even though Saitama is a super OP guy, we follow him for the most part, right, there's so much more, such a vast world outside of him, right, so many other things that's happening outside of Saitama, and it's just really nice to see how all this situation goes, and then you kind of know in your head, oh, Saitama's gonna come. Let's see how he deals with this, even though we know exactly how he's going to deal with it. He punches you once and you're dead. So, when it comes to that, right, I don't know where I went off on this tangent, but, trying to rope this all back into the demon girl next door, it kind of feels like that type of underdog-ish story, but if it's a comedy, right, there's a chance I will never escape that underdog type story where, we could have like 10 volumes or something in the manga, and I know that this is a 4-koma, so like, when it comes to 4-komas, some of them don't really have a plot, or they don't really move a plot. That being said, this story, they've been adding a lot of mysteries and such, and like a lot of backstory between the Light and the Dark Clan, and then like the magical girl stuff. So they've been adding a lot of that, so I'm assuming that we are going to get a plot progression, because if they don't, I mean, this is a lot of fucking backstory for absolutely nothing. So yeah, even though it's a comedy, I feel like it would still keep itself within that underdog realm for a while, right, for a long time, until some sort of whatever plot progression continues, and Yuko will finally do something. I don't know. Now that I've gotten all that out and just talking, I feel like I've talked about this many times before, where I talk about how I don't like underdog type stories. So yeah, this is what the series reminds me of right now. That's what the feeling that it's giving me right now. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Anyways, away from that tangent, I do have just one more thing to talk about, which is like the last half where we got to see Yuko and Momo together. Also, the other thing that I didn't talk about, where her ancestor says that she can offer her, offer her to the ancestor statue, so like treats or magazines. To which I'm like, does she just control the statue and then like reads the magazine, or like does the magazine just disperse into like particles and then it goes into the statue? I don't know. It's the same thing with treats, right? Like, does she actually eat the treats through the statue, or like does the treats just just particleize itself? I don't know. But here we are with the next part of the second half, right? With her coming back to school and then her not having a uniform because it was her one and only uniform and she didn't know how to do laundry. Which, again, if you don't have the essentials, right? A washing machine or a dryer machine. Well, a washing machine would be the most helpful, right? They're hand washing everything, which I would say probably very difficult and also very straining on your body because you're gonna have to keep fucking scrubbing. Look, I'm a very unathletic person, all right? Doing the dishes back in like the kitchen at restaurants I used to work, they're a pain in the ass. I get so tired doing dishes. Especially when all like the food stuff that's on it gets like stuck to the pan and I have to like fucking scrub it as hard as I can. I get so tired. I can't imagine having to do that for your laundry every week. But hey, at least she's getting that fucking arm muscle, you know? Her SEIKO, I mean, not Yuko. Yuko's weak AF. Anyways, okay, so going back to what I was talking about, where this is where it kind of just came in, and I was just like, wow, that's really so angry, so upset. The statue. So she's in her PE uniform, right? So why are you in the gym clothes? You don't have gym today. And then out in the background, she just comes in and just fucking. She had super hearing or something? Like, what the fuck, Momo? I have so many questions for you right now, but thank you very much. Yeah, I have a spare uniform. Okay, so like the moment she came in like that, I was just like, whoa, that's you know, that's a little much. And then here is Yuko who's saying like, hey, I'm gonna go wash it, right? And then she's over here like, oh, don't worry, right? I usually just put it to the cleaners, but if you insist on doing it yourself, then I'd like that. And then it hits to this, you seem like you'd be really good at doing house chores, so I have high expectations. And it's just like, okay, like, we're laying it down thick in this episode. We've kind of saw it just a little bit. Every time we see we see Momo just coming back in, it's just like kind of because okay, episode 1, we see Momo by herself, right? Just doing whatever, staring off into the distance in class. And it was Yuko who came into, well, it's not exactly Yuko, it was Henri who opened up the door and was just like, hey, this girl wants to fight you. So then Yuko comes and they met each other again, right? It's the whole shenanigan stuff. Episode 2, we started seeing her coming in the background, right? Through the window, right? Her coming into the classroom and just walking in here. And I'm just like, okay, you know, so this is like Momo wanting to try and hang out. That's what I said last episode. Yeah, it's just Momo wanting to try and hang out with you. And now, here in this episode, it felt like that idea has just been cranked up by like 100. Right? With the way that she just climbs up on the trees and like opening the window from like outside of the classroom. It was just like, okay, that's a lot. Anyways, we head on over to this scene after like the whole talk about this is the modern era, we use projectiles now. We shoot people with guns, except they don't have guns. Well, they can't get access to guns here in Japan, right? It's not like America where you can just walk into your parents' gun closet and grab it. And so here's Momo, who is bringing her to an abandoned factory that she owned because she blew it up once, and so she bought it. And she hasn't done anything else with it afterwards. Like, she didn't even demolish the rest of it, right? She doesn't even need to hire people to demolish it. She can just do it herself. I believe she's being serious for Momo, I mean, on like, oh, you have to learn how to do projectiles. Right? You have to learn how to fire projectiles instead of just buying a gun. You've got magic, right? You can at the very least do that. And so Momo's not allowing her to go home until this whole fucking spiel happens, which again is just, you know, one of her bigger-ish excuse to try and hang out with her. And also really odd that Momo, despite being like, oh, I'm trying to watch over you so your power doesn't go out of control and all that, but then she also says something like, oh, why don't you try and say something that, like, you feel about the whole world, right? Something like, I want to crush everything, or this world should be plunged into darkness, or some really dark stuff that even Yuko isn't thinking about. Yuko's mainly thinking about food right now. So I'm just like, okay, very interesting. I'm just, you know, other than the fact that Momo would like Yuko to be her friend, or thinks that she is her friend, wants to hang out with her, but also, like, are you, you know, I'm just like, are you just trying to train a demon girl to, you know, but at the same time, it's like you're training a demon girl, even though you're a but also going to the idea of Momo's not very associated with the other magical girls. Well, that's an assumption. I'm just only getting that from the fact that she says that she hasn't really transformed into a magical girl in a while, right? It's been a long time, and she had originally thought about not doing it anymore, and now here's Yuko, who's kind of bringing her back into it. We also haven't seen the other magical girl yet, so the orange one. Anyways, there was this part where she kind of just starts, like, I was gonna say yell, but she doesn't really yell, yeah. But she says, you know, not every magical girl out there is the easy type like I am. They're going to boil you alive, right? Most of them shows absolute mercy. If you come across one like that, they're going to boil you alive in an instance. To which, you know what? Fair trade, consider that Yuko wants to drain, well, I mean, not that Yuko wants it, but the statue wants the drained blood of a magical girl, so... Also, they just said, that reminds me, her ancestors said that she could accept anything, right? Treats to magazines. So, again, kind of goes back to the idea of, why don't you just, you know, get a little bit of blood? You don't have to get, like, I'll say a whole pint, but, you know, human blood isn't just one pint. You don't have to get an entire blood of a magical girl, right? You could at least get just a tiny little bit, and then feed it to the statue. I don't know. Just giving out some suggestions. I did say in the other suggestions, when Ryoko came on over to suggest to Momo that the future is guns. The modern era is guns, I mean, right? You should stick with what suits you. And, I mean, I guess subterfuge and espionage is not really Yuko's thing. I just felt like it's something that'll be a little bit better if she can't fight Momo, right? Do a little deception. Befriend her, you know, and then afterwards it's like, oh man, I got into a big accident and I need a blood transfer. Can you help me? You know? Well, look, that could be some fucking demon shit, you know? You take advantage of their friendship, their kindness, and then you take their blood. Through fraud. Well, that's the modern era right there. Not gonna lie, this tiny particle that Yuko has shot out, and the way that it just, it's being vocalized, you know? My master! It's so cute, not gonna lie. And then the way that it just, like, chases after Yuko. Master, please! I just want to be whole again! But towards the end of all of this, after a gruesome training, she ends up shouting a whole bunch of things, and the final thing that she says, and also because Momo's just like, you have to shout out something that you truly mean, and whatever, right? And the wand will react. And so here's Yuko yelling, I hope that everyone will become friends. And that's the thing that affects her, which, you know, it's not very demon-like. That whole particle thing that she shot out, it's also perhaps not very demon-like either. But as she runs away from her small little demon particle, we've got Momo who repeats it, right? This is what you said. Everyone will become friends. And she decides, I'm going to keep training you for a while, right? So, and also I love that Yuko has just given up on the fact that everybody now calls her Shamiko. her friends at school are like calling her Shamiko and everything, or Shami. So that's her D&D name now, I guess. But but you know, something is some fucking gears is turning in Momo's head right now. You know, perhaps one of the reasons why she didn't really want to transform into a magical girl anymore as much is because she's a little disillusioned by the whole magical girl stuff. Who knows, right? And then but we also have this weird case, this special case of Yuko, who is a demon girl who's supposed to be her enemy, right? And yet the thing that causes her magic to activate is the fact that she says that I hope everyone will become friends, right? I hope for world peace or whatever. And that's not very demon-like. And perhaps that gets Momo thinking a lot more. It's just like, you know, this is a very special individual, and I want to spend more time with them. So, we'll just have to see. But yeah, I thought that didn't really have too much else to say during this episode, just because I felt like I was just, especially the last half, I felt like I was just watching the show, and also not really being able to like catch up with what most things were saying again, because with the whole thing with the subtitles going a little bit too fast, and it feels like there's a little too much information flying past me, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just the way that High Dive does their subtitles, because High Dive's subtitles, they are not good. In terms of the formatting, I mean, the High Dive formatting, they're not good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought that this was a pretty alright episode, and if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.